Welcome to the second of our Higher Ground webinar series. Today we're going to talk about transitioning from the old story, a story that is clearly wobbling, if not yet dying, to new stories that are being born. Stories that offer new possibilities, new options, and new levels of consciousness. Indeed, as we learned from all of our guest speakers and collaborators during Higher Ground Live, the first program in this series, and as an increasing number of us are admitting based on our personal experiences in the world around us today, there's a seismic shift occurring. Many of the old stories' flaws, the habituated practices, and the insufficiencies that have brought us to this time, and all of the resulting confusions and divisions and regressions that now have our attention. But Sedena and Nathan and I, and many of you, are also coming to the conclusion that there's some very good news in all of this. And a growing number of us are finally waking up and admitting that it's time to address some of these flaws, to take greater responsibility individually and collectively for the unhealed wounds that obstruct our progress, and become more aware and responsible to those who, for all the seeming advances in science, technology, transportation, and innovation, have been part of the old story. And they've also been left behind to languish in lives that are challenging and painful. But thankfully, these and other things are now out in the open for all of us to see. And while they're bringing discomfort and challenge to many of us, they're also leading to bubbling up of new stories that are leading all of us, if we pay attention, toward a more positive, sane, sustainable, and abundant way of life. And not just for some, but for all. This is why Sedena, Nathan, and I are clear that if individually and collectively we truly want to navigate these uncharted waters, if we want to encourage the birth of those new stories, and do what we need to move beyond the limitations, we'll be wise to reach more deeply into our hearts as well as our heads, tap into that reservoir of courage, express commitment, greater consciousness, and agree to take greater responsibility and accountability for our own well-being, for the well-being of others, for the health of our planet, and for the values, principles, and privilege that make this nation and our democracy a unique experiment in individual empowerment and conscious governance.